All right, guys, what's up? Apologize for being late. The whole neighborhood is exploding with fireworks, which I don't know. For you guys, happy 4th of July. As a combat veteran with PTSD, it screws me up pretty bad. So, apologize. I was trying to get my bearings, but yeah, gotta embrace it a little bit and suck it up. It's not gonna go away. But good evening. We have a special guest tonight, all the way from New Zealand, Marc Coppell. There he is. Hello, my love. What's up? Bigfoot and Non. Good to see you. Eric Monroe. What's up, brother? John Cunningham. Gavin. What's up, bro? Oh, I always read it as John. Land of the Long White Cloud Cryptids. What's up, my brother? Some mechanical issues with my van, but we'll be listening. All right, brother. No, it's all good. Vince, what's up, brother? My World, New Zealand. Rob S, what's up, bro? Why does that tall bush on the right look like he has Elmer Fudd hat on? Oh, on the thumbnail? I don't know. That's Bubba's. The thumbnail is Bubba's. It's crazy. It's so thick right now. Like, it's so thick. Like in the winter, you could see straight through. Like straight through. Toby, what's up, bro? Hi, darling. What's up, babe? Mike Flynn. Oh shit. Here goes the neighborhood. All right, guys. So, Mark's links are below in the description. So if you want to go check out his channels, I'm sure he'll explain to you which one is best or what he does with them. And I'm just going to bring him in. Let's get it going. You guys know the drill. And don't, you know how it goes. We'll just kind of wing it. We'll just see where it goes. Very informal. And that's it. Let's get it going.
Hello. Hey, mate. How's it going, Mike? Yeah, okay. Happy 4th of July over there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, from New York to New Zealand. What's up?
Yeah, good. Well, you guys are a lot warmer than us. We're pretty cold down here right now. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just had an Antarctic blast come through, so the temperatures went right down. So yours are probably going up, and ours are going the other direction.
Yeah, here on the island we had rain for the past 4 days or something. Like it was good. We needed it, but it gets old after a while. I love it. We love the rain, but it's sometimes you just really when you got kids, that's when it's hard. Like they cooped up with you.
Yeah. I used to live in Vegas, so it barely ever rained over there. So it was a change coming back home to Kiwiland.
Yeah. I think it's been over in Oregon and on the West Coast and and up in Canada over on that side. It's been really, really hot over there too. The weather's just been crazy apparently. So it's interesting. It's winter. Oh, is it winter there by you guys?
Yeah, it's winter. Yeah, I got a heater on next to me, but it doesn't do much.
Why do I not know this stuff?
That's all right. Well, the main thing is you aren't freezing, and that you guys are having a party over there. So I'm surprised. I don't hear any fireworks. Actually, I remember it got pretty loud when I was over there.
Oh, it's tripping me out. It's loud. I don't know. It's really interesting. I don't know. It's loud, but it's just reminiscent of the audio I'll get in a video. When I'm filming and something's loud, and I'm like, oh shit, did you hear that? And everyone's like, no, I didn't hear anything. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah. Yeah. I that's why I always record my stuff because I miss stuff if I don't. So
I've been looking at those the parabolic microphone that you have.
Yep.
Yeah, that thing is cool, man. But they're pretty pricey, you know what I mean. So I yeah, I found one that was like dirt cheap, but like I was like, I'm not gonna just get some to get some, you know.
Yeah, I tried one other one that was a lot cheaper, but it just it was so noisy, and it only recorded for 7 seconds. It was made in China, little
Yeah,
tiny, tiny.
that's that's the
But
exact one I looked at.
okay, yeah. So you can actually put if you have the right audio cables, you can record the sound to a separate audio recorder using that. But I wanted the best sound just because because of what was going on was so amazing that I knew I had to get a good mic set up.
All right. Yeah, no, I think that thing picks up. I mean, that thing picks up everything. Cause like you were up there, and you were up there in that one video, you were up there in the middle of the mountains. Like, I mean, there's a lot of valleys and bushes, and there's a lot of wind, all sorts of stuff, and it was just perfect audio. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's sort of been one of my main goals is to get better audio. And what's amazing is they're actually saying my name,
Yeah.
and these beings. There's a bunch of things going on, and I'm trying to understand what's going on.
Well, I guess one of those. I guess you're in one of them situations where you're getting a lot of different things involved, and you got to like you toggle that line of like of where does Bigfoot and ET and all this other stuff, like where does it cut off, and if it does cut off, like where, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it sounds pretty intermingled, or at least like they're at least in the same spot, like having like kind of like arguments almost, like, you know what I mean? It sounded like somebody was inviting you somewhere, like I forget if it was like on a craft or through a portal, and one of the Bigfoots was like no, like, or like something, like it was like I keep them safe or something.
I'm picking up craft on camera as well. Bipedal footsteps, the very deep guttural Bigfoot-like calls as well. These beings are high. I mean, whenever anybody's in the area, they're highly aware of us being there.
Yeah.
And even though we might not sense them, they've got all ears on us, all eyes and ears are on us.
Mm-hmm.
I have I have quite a heavy paranormal background as well, so I use some of my paranormal investigation background with what's going on as well.
Right. I don't want to butcher what's your ghost hunting name or whatever. Like, how can people find you? I forget what your name is. Like your
Yeah, I have an old channel through Haunted Man, but my new channel's my new channel's Mountain of Entities. You can type that into YouTube, or you could type it in on a browser. It comes up with a blog at the top. There's a link to the YouTube, to my most recent videos. So
yeah, okay, yeah. I put your two channel links in the description, but I couldn't remember what the one was. Haunted Man. I should have asked you, but I got so distracted with other stuff. So.
Yeah, no worries. Just mountainofentities.com, going through there, and that link, you find because if you go to the old one, you can find the old videos, but my recent stuff, our location, Auckland, New Zealand here. So someone just asked you, where's your location? Auckland, New Zealand.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So, well, I mean, Vince is out in New Zealand, so he does a lot out there, like a lot, and he's all over the place. So I guess that's why he's asking. He's probably in your area. So I don't know what part of New Zealand you're in. I don't know if you want to say, like, but you don't have to.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in Auckland.
Okay.
But it's a big city. Well, not big compared to the US, but big for here locally. And just west of me is the Waitakere Ranges. Now, we are surrounded by ocean. The country's about the size of California, the state of California. So it's not a giant country. So we're here in the middle of the South Pacific Ocean. We're surrounded by water. One of the things people ask me is, well, how did Bigfoot get to New Zealand? It's all the way down there, isolated. I mean, that's a fair question.
I hear it too. I mean, I'm on an island too. And people always assume like, oh, walk through Manhattan. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I get it all the time too. Man. It's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody here is gonna be used to that. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. And so I have my own theories about, well, at least some theories as to how they got here, among other places. It started. I've been working on this documentary, and so I've been doing a lot of filming the past 4+ years. It all started. Well, the Bigfoot stuff started around when I went to Skinwalker Ranch, Utah. If any of you, probably a bunch of you have heard of Skinwalker Ranch in Utah.
Yeah, I was gonna segue into that at some point. Yeah. Yeah. So you were over there, right?
Yeah, and that's where me and my then girlfriend at the time had a first Bigfoot-like encounter there in the Uinta Basin, northeastern Utah. Up there on UFO Hill in the middle of the night in complete darkness. Went there to look for UFOs. Instead, we've got like something that threw a rock right by at us from the darkness below. We were up on this elevated hill with a bit of a drop below us. It's pretty isolated out there. It's a bit of a farming community. There's a lot of the Ute tribal reservation land around that area. And, the locals reported a lot of strange things going on. Among them, Bigfoot-like encounters, including footprints. There was a school teacher, Joe Jr. Hicks, who basically took reports, some 200+ reports of locals there seeing craft, but also there were like Bigfoot-like encounters. And no doubt some of you have read George Knapp and Com Kelleher's book, Hunt for the Skinwalker, that came out a while ago. But I went there for UFOs after having a sighting in early 2013.
Yeah.
And I went all gung-ho. And I thought, well, I'm going there to look for UFOs. So I took all my paranormal gear, my infrared cameras, my point of view, full spectrum cameras. So I went there looking in the skies, looking for UFOs under a nice starlit sky. There's something happens, like boom, like something like explosion. I was shocked. I was like, it sounded like a battery pack exploding. And so I was looking around. All my gear was all right, and I went over the audio, and it was a rock that had been thrown by us. And then I heard this a strange creature sound.
Yeah.
And I've had it on my video, Skinwalker Ranch Apocalypse Close Encounters. It's a little low budget documentary I did. We had these light anomalies approach us, doing 90-degree turns against the wind, a gusty wind. And so, thank you, My World New Zealand. Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments here.
Bro, when I tell you he's got the best stuff I've ever seen, like out by here. Like, I mean, out of anywhere and at all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's got. I wasn't gonna speak on for him, but I was hoping he was gonna. You guys should link up and talk and share a little bit. But we'll do that. We'll talk about that later on if you're interested.
Yeah, no, great. No, thank you. Appreciate that, My World New Zealand, fellow Kiwi. Yeah, so happy Independence Day too. So. At that point, I didn't really have a proactive interest in that time. That rock had been thrown by us, and I didn't know really what to think about it. It wasn't actually until I left New Zealand. I left America and went back to New Zealand after some 20 years in America. I started going over that video footage from Skinwalker Ranch on the outskirts there, and I said, well, that's weird. I didn't go there for Bigfoot. I went there for UFOs. And that's the Area 51 of the paranormal, as it's known. There's a lot of things that happen there. So George Knapp has talked about, reporter has talked about a piggyback effect of the phenomena. So I wondered, when I went back to New Zealand, I captured a very strange voice during a paranormal investigation which said to me, "Accept the Bigfoot people, big people." And it repeated. This strange voice captured on a radio-shielded Sanjian spirit box. Now, skeptics say, well, it's just mere radio spatter, and it's, you're hearing what you want it to hear. It's just audio, example of audio pareidolia. However, the voice is quite clear. It says, "Accept the Bigfoot people, big people." Something grabbed me, pulled me up off my chair on the video. You can go into my videos on Queen Street investigation video. It starts out as a paranormal investigation and actually plays. So basically, these beings, or at least these ones, have amazing abilities beyond anything that's ape-like. It goes into like what we might call astral-like projection, being able to go through walls and I just started going into New Zealand bush. I mean, lived in the desert for a long time. I was dying to go back into the gold areas and old historical areas. Weird stuff started happening. I started getting followed. I was getting the wood knocks. I got the samurai chatter. I started putting the pieces together, the puzzle, trying to figure out what's going on. And then I thought, heck, this sounds like, I like a Bigfoot kind of stuff. And I didn't know what it was at the time, and I didn't even know our country even had Bigfoot. And I started looking into history with the Polynesian, the natives, the Maori people, and and so they talked about them. They have, just like the American Indians, they had, various names for them. And then my story kind of went viral through the news here in New Zealand back in 2019. And I got interviewed on Stuff News, and it went to TV3 and went to radio. And so I did get a little bit of attention doing that, but it's a very taboo subject. Most of the people will not talk openly about it. It's very hard to get people who've had encounters. They will not talk about it. Most of them will not. And so it's nice.
You guys have fairly like small communities. You know what I mean? Like, and I'd imagine your government's a little different than ours. Probably a little more, I don't want to say cutthroat, but probably a little more, like able to like put their strong arm down on you if they wanted to.
We don't have, and I can speak from experience because I did a lot of prospecting when I was in America. We don't have that kind of freedom here. Here in New Zealand, we don't have that. You have to get permits, and there are a lot more tapes to climb through doing that kind of stuff here. And so I don't know. During your research, I mean, have you had things thrown at you, rocks, stuff like that?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. I mean, I do stuff so differently. Like in the beginning, I was like doing what I saw, what I thought I was supposed to do, and then I started to just notice. I'm like, damn, like things aren't really the same for me as everyone else. Like I just started to feel different. Started to feel like I don't know. I just started to feel like I shouldn't follow the mold, and especially because people were literally just like not getting a lot. So I just started to do everything different. If a rock came in, like, people say, like, I would like throw it back, or like I would like, try to find it and then like throw it in the water, or like, like just like, or like I would carry a golf ball. If they threw a rock, like I throw a golf ball, like just anything different, but like, cause, like people just say, oh, if it's a rock, it's aggressive, like get out of there. Like, I don't know. Like, is it? Like, I don't know. So, but yeah, I've had a few things. I've had a few things thrown at me. Yeah. I was never like hit directly. Like, it was like I was never like hit. Not that I could think of anyway.
Well, I had a hunter that I just interviewed late last year in Northland, New Zealand, and he said that one flicked a stone and knocked it. Was it a candle on a shelf or something? I mean, they have amazing precision when they throw things.
Yeah, that's why, like, when people say, like, oh, like, I was attacked, like, a Bigfoot threw a rock at me, it tried to hurt me, and this and that. Like, if it threw a rock and it landed near you, it wasn't trying to hit you.
Yeah.
It was trying to do something, get your attention, or, you know, like, for whatever reason. But it wasn't trying to hit you. Like, I mean, I can literally, like, you know, if I have anything, I could throw it right now and it'll land in my garbage can. You know what I mean? Because I know where it is. Like, I know where everything is in my house. Like, I don't even have to look. Bloop, it'll go in. But, like, you know, like, that's them in the woods. Like, their precision is, like, on point. You know what I mean? And what else do they really have to do when they're hanging out in our world besides throw a bunch of, like, our world's boring. Our world's, you know what I mean? Like, to
Yeah.
them, probably, you know, when they're here, there's probably, like, just something to do. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure they have fun, especially the juveniles playing hide and seek. You know, like I've been followed out by the young ones. It gets into what I would call the woo or the supernatural aspects. They had, and this is unbelievable. Some of the stuff that's happened is absolutely unbelievable, including saving my life as well. That these beings are able to cross dimensions, at least some of them. And I don't fault people. You know, people say, well, they're flesh and blood. Well, they've had sightings that seem, you know, to be flesh and blood. Now, there are accounts where the footprints just go and they disappear. People have that.
Yeah.
And I found solo prints out in the middle of nowhere where nobody goes. Just weird stuff. And the wood knocks, just hearing the wood knocks right next to me, and nothing's there. And I knew something wasn't normal with it because they walked up to me. I couldn't see what they were. I just heard the clomp, 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 and I was like getting ready for something to happen. And I was pretty freaked out. I was having a pee on the side of the bush there, and something starts walking up to me. You know, like the worst moment you want someone to walk up to you, you know, when you're in the bush. And so I was getting ready for someone to, like, catch me, you know, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
And there was these voices, and they were watching me. And they have amazing strength. They can rip down mature, healthy trees, just snap them like matchsticks. I mean, it's just astounding.
Yeah, you know, like with the footprints, like people want to follow the trackway and they want to see where it goes. Like people will literally be like, "Oh, the footprint went this way. That's where it went." But it could have walked like right into the veil there, or right into a portal there, or like, you know what I mean, or right into a tree and gone up and like just carried on the other way. Like there's to follow the trackway or the prints is like, but not a lot of people get that far. They literally they get stuck on the physical part of it. You know what I mean? Like, they think like as if we were walking through the woods, it would have to go somewhere. It doesn't. They're not bound by our laws. You know what I mean? And like you heard them talking, like, go in the bush portal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go in the bush portal. Like, to us, that's just a bush. That's just a bush to us. That's the laws we live by. We can't vibrate there. Maybe we can, but like, you know I can. I haven't gotten there yet. You know, I mean, maybe one day they'll you know, help me get there. And I'll go take a ride. I don't know. Like, we'll see. But you know, for now, I can't do it. They just poof, gone. You know, like. But you start to see things. Like, you start to notice things. Like, you know, that footprint can go into another. It's not necessarily like am I making sense? Like, it's not like the prints go like how we would have a footprint. Like, it's not the same laws of science, I guess.
Yeah, and just Eric mentions the last show on Skinwalker Ranch about a portal opening up and a creature coming out through it. You know, I picked up in my area they said bush portal. And then there's these. And what do these structures mean? I mean, you've got the tree bends, you've got the leans, you've got the teepees, all kinds of wood structures, and some places like Colorado and Utah where you have these massive structures. I mean, it would be next to impossible without heavy machinery putting these structures together, and how some of them are just weaved together. It's quite amazing. What do they mean? These structures. And so I'm ITC to try and get some intel also about what's going on, or instrumental transcommunication electronics, to get insight into what's going on. I don't know if you found this, Mike, but I found that they like to copy what you say. Like when I was doing, I was on camera. I said the Maruro, which is one of the names for Bigfoot here in this country. They copied me and they said straight after it. It's an unusual word that you don't hear talked about here, particularly in this country. So they like to mimic humans sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I have one saying, like, "What's up?" to me. Sup. Like, it's like, so. It's very deep.
Yep.
When I was questioning if it's really them whistling, or like, am I just like hearing some weird bird out there or whatever, like, you know what I mean? So I started whistling a certain whistle, and then they were sending back that whistle, like that particular unique whistle. Like, I was like, you know what I mean? I was doing a little like twang on it, so like a bird, and then they would do it. Even if I didn't do it, they would do it to me. And it's aggravating to get up. So sometimes when you don't get a lot on video, you know what I mean? Like, or you know what I mean? Like, a lot happens off. Like, everyone sees everything that happens on, and it's a lot. Don't get me wrong. I can't complain, but but there's a lot that happens, and a lot of it happens around my home. But I have to be cautious. I can't. As soon as I film or I take out that phone or I start talking, even if I talk near my phone, it's being kind of, you know what I mean? It's like a digital spy, like, for lack of better words. Like, I'm snitching myself and them out that they're here. So, I if I upload something that happened at the house that I videoed, I have to offset it. I have to totally offset the time and stuff. Like, I'm sure as sure as shit by now that they know how to keep themselves safe, but I still don't wouldn't want to be responsible to be like, oh, here they are right now, because I used to do live streams a lot, but then I started to be followed by Black Hawk helicopters everywhere I went, which is like a military chopper here, so I don't know if you have any of that kind of stuff, but I mean, it's I try not to focus on that part because it could just really get aggravating, but it happens.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that will set out, and if they know your area, they'll try to set up, they'll try to hoax you. There are people, like in this country, they even did a show here in New Zealand called, I forget what it was. It was basically making mockery of anybody that was interested in the paranormal / also Bigfoot. Hart, I forget his name, but there's a real stigma if you talk about these kinds of things in this country, and you can get ostracized by your family. I legally had to defend what I was doing in the courtroom. There was stuff going on, so it got very serious for me. Doing this research. And say, oh, he must have psychosis, or bipolar disorder, or
I've heard it all, bro. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, sometimes you just have to have that attitude, and but I don't care. I mean, I have the audio to back up what's going on.
Yeah. And
so sometimes they'll move stuff at the deep lungs. They've responded to me. Very, very, very powerful lungs. They're extremely stealthy. And as I say, I've had the weirdest stuff happen. I'm now going to UFO stuff as well. It's all starting to combine, and I'm kind of more of a. Yes, I'm a Bigfoot researcher, but I'm also what I'd call a Fortean researcher.
That's okay. It's important. That's important. Like, there's different paths, there's different messages, there's different things that need to be collected. You know what I mean? Like, what's good for the goose ain't always good for the gander. You know what I mean? Like, we need different aspects looked at. You know what I mean? So it's a good thing. I feel like as far as Sasquatch, I feel like they put you on the path you're supposed to be on. Like, they kind of put you on a little journey and like give you like some kind of lane to be in. You know what I mean? I'm a little spoiled. Like, they give me a lot because they want me to share, and like, it's kind of different for me personally. I know I know a few other people in the similar scenarios, but not a lot of them want to go public, and I don't blame them. Like, I don't blame them.
Yep.
It takes tough skin. It takes fucking tough skin for this shit. Like, you're never not getting shit on. Really, you're never not. Like, there's a day does not go by where someone don't take a jab at you. Never.
Yep.
And it takes tough skin. I try not to let everyone see that stuff. I try to take it down, or just you know what I mean, deal with it on my own, whatever. I try not to let it interrupt the flow of things, because there's no point to harp on that negative. Because
exactly.
That's what they want. You know what I mean? In all honesty.
Well, what I found, Mike. One of the questions asked if I go out with equipment. I at the beginning, no. I started wearing GoPros after stuff started happening, and I've started doing audio recordings because the stuff was so amazing. But what I found personally, there are beings that are not so friendly out there. And whether there are some Bigfoots that may not be so friendly, I don't know. I can't speak personally. I mean, I have talked to people who've had some, what they would call frightening, had boulders thrown at them, and they felt like they were going to take them. But for me personally, they have been actually very protective of me, even saving my life. I mean, I nearly died from a medication interaction, and the ambulance people were surprised. Basically, I had like this shadow being rush up to me, shove something to my heart area. And this was right after when all this stuff was happening. It's. I mean, they can involve you. They can involve you in their lives, or they get involved in your lives.
Yeah, my man. That's what's up. I totally agree with you. I've been healed personally. It's hard because some of the stuff happens happens off camera, and it's like it's out there. And let me tell you. I always say, like, the monster sells, because it sounds like everyone's trying to push the bad, like the bad, and I'm waiting for the good to turn that corner. I'm waiting for I'm waiting for all these people with the good to come out. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I feel like the people having good encounters are just like, oh, whatever. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I was out with this guy, Rob. He's probably here, and we were out. He's been a long time subscriber. We started going out together. I didn't know he was local, so he comes out, and we go out. Man, they must have thrown this thing. I mean, it must have been a rock that was like this big around, because when it hit, it was like, boom. And like, I was like, whoa. Like, we both were like, whoa. But it stayed in the wood line. It didn't come out into like the open grass where we were, which had like a good 20-foot barrier. Some people might perceive that as an attack. Some people might see that as threatening. Some people, I mean, to me, I was like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's not that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to try to decipher it a little bit. But, like, I'm not going to go bum rushing in there right away and be like, like, what the hell was that? But, there's a lot of perception out there. And if everyone's talking about how it's a bad thing, that might be where people go to right away. You know what I mean? Like, a rock gets thrown. A rock getting thrown is always a bad thing. Like, it seems like it's always a bad thing. So when I hear you talk about certain things from your aspect, it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Well, I've faced some very bad entities in the past. I've had stuff attack me. And I've seen people nearly get killed by what we call paranormal phenomena, myself included. And so I have experienced some very, very bad stuff that people don't normally see. So I've been involved with helping people too. I worked with a psychic when I was in the United States, and also with the paranormal team. So I have seen a bunch of stuff. So I'm definitely not ignorant to what's out there. But as far as the Bigfoot people, the ones that I've been working with, they have been very accepting of me, and as I say, they actually invited me out on a certain day, January 13th of 2017. I was invited out by one of them that came to me in some sort of astral form. after stuff had been happening, along with all this recording. I mean, it's been a bunch of stuff that's going on. It's jaw-dropping. You feel like you're going down a rabbit hole. And well, basically, I'm producing a documentary, my world, and so what I'm doing is I'm trying to create a storyline with what's going on. A lot of people, poo-poo the subject and think it's a load of BS, and so I like to have a bit of stuff to sort of back up a little bit about what's going on. I'll
link you guys up later. You guys have a lot to. You guys will have a lot to. You guys will really be able to help each other. You'll be. I think you'll both be happy with each other. Like you both have a lot from your same area, and it's good. It'll be good for you guys to put it together. Really good.
So it's really interesting what's going on. They asked me, especially when these other beings there, they asked me to turn off my cameras. You can hear it in the audio. Mark, you need to turn off your cameras. Turn off your cameras. There's another voice, what I would call more like an ET kind of voice. There's this stuff is crazy what's going on. It's like something out of a movie. And we've got multiple different kinds of beings here in this area. I'm getting some of their craft on camera, a drone, a point of view camera as well. And I actually try to be very respectful. They know that a lot of times I do wear gear. Most of the time I do wear gear on me, or audio, at very least audio, along with point of view cameras as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's really more interested in answers because I've experienced poltergeist phenomena. Really, for me, it's been more of a personal quest. But I think other people need to know about this.
Sure.
And so if we just just talk about it, well, it's a story. But if we have some stuff to back it up, some audio or maybe something else that will help, maybe get people to think a little bit more deep about what's going on, because people they do poo-poo it,
Yeah, but like even that could even be a simple test. Like, Mark, you need to turn off your camera. Like like he's saying, a unit for the fame or the journey. Like, there's people who have to have that. Like, they will not turn off their camera because they have to get it, because they have to show people, because they have to get that. They need that. Like, some people get high on the subscriber count. Some people some people get high on the views and who's doing it. You know what I mean? And I mean, it could have been a simple test too. Like, you need to turn off your camera just to see how serious you were about them, or if you were serious about that too. Or you're serious about the camera. Because when people go out and they obsess about getting a photo of a Sasquatch, you're missing so much. You're missing so much that's happening because your focus is on trying to get a picture. And when you can let a lot of that stuff go, you'll get a lot. You get a lot. I try to go out as a blank slate,
Yeah, well, they're highly empathetic beings, and so yes, if you're focused on gear, you're going to miss the subtleties that's going on around you. Another reason why I wear audio is I hear a voice. Well, heck, I try to, once it's gone, it's gone. If you have that on audio, you can go back and listen to their message, whatever's being said to you. If you listen carefully, and this is advice that I give to people, if you want to understand what's going on, more of what's going on, to record, maybe just, if you don't feel comfortable taking a camera in, maybe just take an audio device and record what's going on. And I pick up a lot of stuff that way, that I was no way I would know otherwise. Otherwise, I'd be just stuck looking at footprints and hearing the sounds and all that. So I do get some insight to what's going on, which is what I want. I want to understand. I want to connect. I want to understand what messages they are trying to portray to us. Now they used the word Asimo. They said Asimo, which I picked up on my mics. I picked it up through my ITC. I assuming at least these beings are calling humans Asimos. Now they've talked about humans. These other beings, but I suspect that Bigfoot, they're watching what's going on. It's really interesting. I mean, it's really jaw-dropping stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think I've listened to like that audio stuff you've had. Like, I think I've listened to it like 10 times through at least, and I don't get a lot of audio, so it's like it's amazing for me. You know what I mean? Like I do have like a guy, one of the subscribers here. He's got like a great studio or whatever he has, like and he knows how to like mess around with the stuff, and he'll tell me what he heard in there, like, and I love it. Like I love it because I don't get a lot of it. You know what I mean? Like last night, again, like this might be perceived as a bad thing. Last night I was out and it was pouring rain, but like whatever. I had a little bit of time. I needed to get out. I just needed to be in the woods no matter what. It's getting dark fast. It was already dark before dark because of the the weather. And I'm like, oh man, I got to show you guys this. Like, so I go off the trail and go in and I'm like, let me cut on the light to show you. Cut on like I didn't even put on the flashlight. I put on like the cell phone light. And all of a sudden I heard this deep guttural growl, like I mean, and it was enough to be like, whoa. I think I yelled "whoa" a couple times, like "whoa, whoa, whoa," like
Yeah.
he like just threw me all the way up, and as bad as some people might take that, like I was somewhat excited to get it, you know what I mean, like to have that audio because I don't get a lot, but there's always where I live. There's a lot of people. It's I have to work to get away from people. You know what I mean? There's a lot of overpopulation. So as much woods as we have, there's always some kind of like business or home nearby or whatever. So being the bad weather and stuff, I was the only one out there, so it kind of I think benefited in that sense. But I'm jealous. Like you guys can go out somewhere and be the only person for days, for weeks, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, our bush here is like rainforest. It's very thick, steep, dangerous, and so you go in there, you have to be prepared. It's very hard to get through, and so I aim for areas that don't have people, because I don't want to get anything like false positive or allowing other interaction from other humans. I don't want that to affect what's going on.
yeah, got some real HD proof here. Yes, he does.
Yeah. So no, I mean I'm interested in what you're getting there.
It's the best shit I've seen. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, if they're real, what else is real?
Yeah.
What else is real? I would say the scientific method does not work for beings that are highly intelligent and are highly aware of us, who have tech as well, that what we might call ETs, who have tech that can run circles around us.
Sure. I mean, that's how we got the transistor. Like, well, that's what they say. The way we got the transistor, which led to, was from an ET crash. But that, the TVs used to be huge in the back, and cell phones were this big, and all of a sudden the transistor appeared, and everything was, small and smart, and this and that, and all of a sudden overnight everything was cool, and but that's this. So the story goes, it came off a craft. ET craft.
Well, these beings can tap into our technology. Have abilities. At least some of them have abilities to tap in. Solid walls is not going to stop them.
Nope.
Now, whether they're using astral travel or they're just changing the resonance to come through, I don't know for sure, but they're incredibly strong. And when I was lying in bed, the big fella came up to me. He basically told me a date and tapped on my head, shook the whole bed, to let me know that I wasn't dreaming. And I find you have to be kind of careful who you talk to about what your experiences are.
Even for myself, I mean, there's not a lot of people around my area that have that know about what I do, and some of the people I come across, they're like, how you have that? Like, why isn't that on the news? Like, why isn't this huge? Why haven't you shown it? Like, I'm not gonna push it. I'm just not gonna push it. First of all, I don't want attention. I'm shy. Like, I'm shy with that kind of stuff. Like, as far as that goes, like, my hat's off to, you know, it was hard for me to do this stuff. Like, I never thought I'd have more than 5 people follow me. I was okay with it. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh, whatever. You know, like the old saying goes, if you can get through to one person, it was worth it. And that was my motto. Like, that was my motto. I was like, man, if I could just help one person or whatever, like, because, you know, it's good to help each other. And even if it's just one person, it's worth it. And so everything past that is a bonus.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's going to happen to me because of all of this, the major stuff that's going on. That involves also these other beings, the sky people. So it's just incredible, and you're hearing these different beings talking, and sometimes they're talking to each other. Now, I understand that these other beings have their own language, and they're using an interpreter. They have an English speaker who helps pass messages through, so I can understand what's going on. Now, they've talked about my father, who was about to die. They said you've had a horrible life. They're giving me very specific information that's jaw-dropping. I mean, very personal information. They're seeing things. Now, just before I went out with a fellow researcher just over a week ago, basically they said, is one of you sick? Because I said, well, what do you think about me and so going out for a hike up this trail? And he said, is one of you sick? Now, I didn't know at the time that one of them was sick and actually ended up pulling out the next day. So basically, they can look into our lives and who you're connected to, and connect through people. It's incredible. And so I actually supplied audio of what I caught. This is why I do ITC work, because it gives me another layer, a big layer of intelligence. But also, I had to be very careful about, because there are some beings that threaten to kill me as well. There are some very bad beings out there too, who don't like this stuff. And if you're connected to them, they go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No. I didn't mean to cut you off, but if you really listen to all the audio really closely, there's a lot of stuff out there, and some of it's threatening. You know what I mean? Some of it's very threatening. You know, There's a lot of stuff out there, bro. I mean, a lot, you know, and not all of it's good. You know what I mean? Not even close to all of it's good. And I'm sure a lot of it's, you know, making plenty of noise. I mean, we might not pick up with our naked ear, you know. And you're getting it with that mic. You know what I mean? You're getting it with that thing.
Yeah, I recorded a near abduction on audio of what's going on. These beings nearly took me. In fact, they said, you hear on audio, there's a ship, go to it. We insert you shortly into our ship. I don't know if something happened to me, because I did turn off my cameras out of respect for them, and I left the audio running, but picking up what was going on was incredible. These different beings talking amongst each other. This is in a very remote area that's very hard to get into. I don't give really anybody notice that I'm going out there. I did one fellow researcher, I let him know about an hour beforehand in case something happened to me. But it would be very hard to hoax me, because people don't know when I'm going out. Most don't know where I go, for one thing.
Sure.
But you hear these different voices that are responding. Now, one of the, what I would call the liaison officer, he said he's a soldier, and you can hear this deep voice that says his name. It says, Matthew, really deep. A very deep, guttural voice, a Bigfoot type voice. They're saying, Mark, woo, like this. I'm picking up on audio what they're talking about. And they're watching me. I can hear the stuff going on around me. And they're staying out of view. And I don't know if they've affected my brain, so I couldn't see them. There was a lot of stuff going on, and so it's ongoing. And for some reason, they knew I was sick, and that's one of the things they mentioned. But it's just amazing. Fiber optics tools reverse engineered. Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy. I mean, I remember. I know you're talking about the guy Matthew, and he was.
So what I'm doing, mate?
Was he the soldier? Is that what you said?
He says he's a soldier.
Yeah.
He's a current soldier, and whether he's next in a dimension that's next to ours, but he's working with these ET beings. He's also he's been communicating with me for about 6 months. And so he's been liaisoning between me and this other civilization. But then there's all this other stuff going on. They're saying my first and last name. I mean, it is just amazing stuff that's going on. And they're highly aware of what I'm doing, what you're doing, those of us researchers who go get out there and talk about our experiences. I think it helps to talk about it. Some of us might have different experiences, different opinions. I try to be very open with what's going on.
I don't blame you. I mean, it's either one way or the other. You know what I mean? It's either you stay quiet about it, or because I know people who try to like share, but like they're kind of like iffy about like coming forward with everything, or like they don't, or they tend to get. It seems to me from what I've seen that they tend to get written off, even if it's behind their back. But they're people like, nah, I don't buy that shit. Like, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't you want to say anything? Why wouldn't you just say something? You know what I mean? I'm like, like that. Some people just don't want to. You know what I mean? Like they just don't want to talk about it. Like it could go either way when you have that. If you have an encounter where you weren't expecting to, like you weren't looking for Bigfoot, you weren't expecting to see a Bigfoot, and it just popped into your life, some people don't want to be uprooted. You know what I mean? They don't want to have their lives changed. They're comfortable. They're used to it. Like,
yep.
I mean, for me, I was an only child. I was always kind of looking around, looking for something else, always kind of bored. Always felt like someone was missing. I was in the military. I was dropped off all over the damn world, like, you know what I mean, by myself. Like, here's your next station. My first duty station was Korea. I was in, like, whatever. Like, I was just dropped off in the middle of nowhere. Like, so for me, the change is not, like, the immediate change wasn't really, I don't want to say it wasn't a big deal for me, but it was, like, it was manageable, I guess, to an extent. It took me a couple of days to process that I saw a full-on Sasquatch, because I was somewhat looking for them. I was looking for them to an extent at that point. Like, I was walking around for a while and, like, oh, I kind of see, and then, boom, right there. No behind the tree, none of that, just standing there.
Yeah. I had, I was in hospital. I got emergency surgery. And I did have one project an image to me of their face. They had kind of dark skin, dark eyes.
Yes.
And it came through very clearly, just like a Polaroid being stuck right. So I've had more kind of like the woo stuff. The wood knocks, the stone clacking, the strange voices, the strange languages, even like little carvings on the tree, strange symbols carved into a tree. They what I assume some of the juveniles like to do is they like to make little playhouses. I came across about 30 or 40 cinder blocks in this very wild area with no tracks. You basically a machete only area to get into. When I came back the next time, they had moved all of these blocks. This is out in the middle of the bush, no tracks out there. Be very hard. You would basically have to use a helicopter to get stuff out. It is really, very one of those areas, and it's just mind-boggling the stuff that's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. Vince did a lot of the same stuff with Vince. Like he choppers out to places. I don't want to put it all out there because I don't want to speak for him, but it's interesting. You guys are in a very, very special place, very, very special place, and it's more important, I think, than I mean, I think it's a really important location. Like, I might not fully understand why, but for lack of better words, it's like it's like the land of the lost over there. You know what I mean? It reminds me of like Jurassic Park. Like they like chop her in, and then there's like dinosaurs everywhere. You know what I mean? Like that's what it reminds me of. Yeah, it's just
some of the creatures that are here are native to this country, are not found anywhere else in the world. So the wildlife, a lot of the wildlife is very vulnerable to things like stoats and cats. But a lot of the Maori would have their legends about these manimal kinds of beings that were incredibly strong, could easily overpower any of their warriors, and they quite feared them. And they even named some of their places after them as well. When I did an interview for news, basically they said in the article, well, we're a bit suspect of Mark because, well, even some of the Maori say, oh no, they never existed. But if you dig into their tales, their legends, you actually do find them under different names, and you can find similarities between the American Sasquatch and the Moihau in New Zealand, or the Rapawais, or the Mararoros was what they're called.
Yeah, I was trying to think. You were saying something before, and it was there was something. Oh, you said like they come right into the house, like like I've seen them like meld right into the wood. Like the best way to put it is like like they like mesh right into it, like they become the tree, like right into it, like not like like hiding next to it or like hiding behind, like become the tree. I kind of leaned away from it, but like I feel like everything's connected because they can kind of move through, the wood. Like I know it might sound crazy, but I think that's kind of how they're able to come in our house too. It's basically made of like shingles and all sorts of wood and shit, whatever. I think they just kind of walk right in for the most part. I know it sounds silly, but I know exactly what you mean. And somebody, with the symbols on stuff, and somebody else said, our cameras catch stuff that our eyes don't, and like sometimes even messages. Like it's not just always looking. That's something a lot of people don't talk about. Maybe people don't know, but it's not always looking for the Sasquatch in the photo you took. When things come out all digitally and funny looking and stuff, there's little, even English letters, numbers. There's stuff that we can understand and pick out, and like there'll be messages in there. Like I've seen names written in there. Like sometimes you gotta find it across. Like it'll be on this tree, then that tree, then that tree, then that tree. You know what I mean? But it's hard to explain. I'm sure you know what I mean, but like, which photo you're supposed to look at to find that, and almost like when a gift is your gift, when when you're supposed to. Yeah, I don't know. Like where you're supposed to look, or what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to be. They almost like I feel like they give me like a push. They draw me somewhere. They pull me in a certain direction. It's not always a direct like mind speak, a direct vision. Yeah. It's not always a direct picture of here. This is where you need to be. It's sometimes like a draw, and I kind of got to figure it out. Like follow the breadcrumb trail,
Yeah. Well, one of the things I did more in the past, not so much lately, but I would do meditation before I went out to the area, and I would try to open up my sixth sense, my chakras, and trying to tap into intuition, because my intuition has led me to encounters. And intuition isn't what we call logical. Some of the stuff that comes through, it comes through very fast. It's not about thinking about it. It's about being receptive to outside influences that are coming in, and they might be pulling you in some direction. Sure. And a lot of messages that I've got are kind of like love, are love related. Like we love you. I mean, that was one of the big things that I got. And that's why I like doing audio, because I get like we love you and those really nice messages. That are quite comforting, especially when you go through hard times. But one of the things that happened after the weird stuff started happening, there was almost like poltergeist-like phenomena, not not the scary, terrifying stuff, but the children's toys that move by themselves.
Yes.
Little, and they like pink for some reason. They love the kids' pink toys. They got attracted. They would sometimes move them.
It's wild you said that, because like today we were going through. It was yesterday or today, but we were going through our kids' stuff, and like, you know, Sarah, she's here, my wife. She was like, "Oh, you know, get rid of this. Well, let's get rid of what we don't need." And I was like, "Why don't you guys make a Bigfoot bin, and we'll gift them. It'll be from you guys, and we'll gift them." And, you know, but it's wild you said that. So like, that's literally the next. That's what we have for the next gift is kids' toys. Yeah. They don't like. It seems like it's odd to say, but like some things, like when I gift a stuffed animal, they don't seem to want that. I don't know why. I'm not saying it's the case everywhere, but like they've always kind of turned me down on these stuffed animals.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've just taken fruit, things like fruit. They actually took the chocolate off a tree. I stuck it in a sealed bag, and then I got a message that said we took the chocolate. Years down the road, I wonder. It was just 6 feet up the tree in a sealed bag, sealed from so possums couldn't smell it. And I went back there and I drew a little cartoon, a smiley face on paper on the chocolate. I went back there the next time. The chocolate was gone. The pen, I left a pen for them, was on the ground. The chocolate completely gone. And I get a message recently said we took the chocolate.
That's awesome. All right, so hang on. This is my wife. She's trying to say something. She's saying it probably makes no sense. But I know exactly what you're saying. So people are by nature always going to go linear, back and forth, forward in time. The backwards is the memory, but some can only see the underneath. So like she said, like a fly. So like picture like a tightrope walker. They can only get on the tightrope and balance, and they can go this way and that way, but you know what I mean. Now if a fly lands on that same rope, it could go sideways, you know what I mean. It can go on the side of that. We can't turn sideways. It can go on this side, and then it can even go underneath and hang there. So it sees a lot of things that we don't see, you know what I mean. So we're kind of bound to this and this and this and this and this and this, you know. And you know, a lot happens in those other areas, and that's literally things that happen within our, you know, our boundaries. Like, not even what else is out there.
Well, for a while I worked on astral projection. I had experiences when I was younger, and I remember leaving the body that things would take a different atmosphere. And I like gravity would lose hold, and I would sometimes hear the sounds of sometimes relatives, those who have passed on. And people talk about traveling to the spirit world. They talk about time is different over there. Like in the realm, what's called the spirit realm, that one night and one Earth night could be like a week over there. So time is completely different at different levels. And so I know, was it Robert Monroe runs? Well, he's not here anymore, but he had the Monroe Institute where people would go and do what they call the gateway program. They would leave their body and get taken to another dimension or whatever, and have some very mystical kinds of experiences.
Yeah. I hear you. I always wondered that too. I always say, you know, like, my son, when we go in the house, my one son, like, he had a sighting in the backyard here. He saw Bubba, like my main Sasquatch, and so I'm always like, oh, you want to say goodnight to the Bigfoot or whatever? And then so one day he was like, well, do they sleep? And I'm like, well, I don't know. He's like, well, don't they get up at night? And I'm like, oh shit, they do. Like, so then we started saying good morning, Bigfoot, and like, as we were going to bed, like, good morning, Bigfoot, because they were probably getting up because they're nocturnal. But I'm like, and then literally, but he had me thinking, I'm like, do they even operate on time? Do they do this? Do they do that? And there's so many different questions, but I don't know. Like, I remember just going to bed that night, like, scratching my head, like,
yeah.
But that's cool. Like, that's some stuff that you're getting that info that, like, I'm not getting, you know what I mean? And someone else is not getting like that. That's good. That's awesome.
These beings are able to go into some sort of astral form, and like when I was doing this paranormal investigation, they actually pulled me up on my seat, came up behind, it's pulled me up. That was the one where I got that message. Except the Bigfoot people, big people. I mean, they're definitely, when they want your attention, they'll find a way to get it.
KD, there's a guy called the only guy I know his name is John Chick. I believe his channel is called the UK Wildman. That's the guy I know that you would probably want to watch. He's got some good stuff going on. At least I know he's the only guy I know over there that's like seriously good, at least in the UK. I hope that helps. I don't know what parts of Europe. There is a couple of guys over in Ireland. There's somebody over in Germany, but I don't know them like that. So.
Yeah, Bigfoot in Germany. Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, Bigfoot in Germany.
I know there's one person, and they gift them in the middle of the town. There's like a tree in the middle of the town. This big, huge tree. Well, it's not a huge town, but it's like, I don't know if you've ever been to Germany, but like, like it's like a small town, and there's like endless amounts of like, land, and probably a castle on top of the, each little village, because back in the day, whatever, everyone had their little job, the blacksmith, the sheep herder, the this, the that, da. And they all, bartered, and God forbid they got attacked. They all retreated up to the castle with the rich, with the whatever, the town owner, if you will, and for safety. But now it's a little different. But so there's one particular town. There's this big tree, and that's like the only tree, and this person would go and gift there, like piles and piles of gifts, and it would disappear. Like the whole town would be asleep or whatever, but the stuff would go away, and they would leave stuff back with it, and like whatever. I don't know like how he was doing it or whatever, but I guess it was working out.
Yeah, there are groups that deal with Bigfoot over in Europe. Like if you're looking, go onto Facebook, there you'll find some groups that do that as well.
Oh man, it's been hard because there's so many so many Facebook groups now and like channels, and I'll link you guys up after if you want. I think I know some of you guys. I'm never on a computer back in the woods on Tuesday. Oh, okay. Good luck. Be careful. I'm glad he was able to explain it better. Oh, no big deal. Scotty J, happy 4th. No problem, KD. All right, we'll hang out for about 5 or 10 more minutes if you're okay with that. If you guys have any questions, I think I'm gonna go out in the morning pretty early because it's gonna be. I think people have off to work tomorrow, so. For whatever reason, I don't. So
yeah,
anywhere it's going to be busy.
Yeah. So any questions? Yeah.
KD, if you could find John Chick is on Facebook. I know that. If you go on YouTube, just look. I believe it's the UK Wildman. I think There's not too many, like, there shouldn't be any other channels that should confuse you, like, as far as, like, I don't know, like, there shouldn't be any other names that, like, screw you up, and, like, it should be, I believe it's pretty easy to find. But, if you have any trouble, just message me on the channel, and I'll try and put the link in there for you. I'm afraid if I bring a camera in with me. No, I'd be alright. Yeah, all right. If you follow your gut, like, go in with certain intent, but respect. Always respect. You know what I mean? Like, like if you were going to somebody's house, like, say you just started dating this girl and you're going to meet her family. You're not gonna walk in there like you're gonna walk in your house. You walk in your house after work or whatever. You throw your shoes, you kick off your shit. You strip halfway to the bathroom and you go in the shower. You're not going to do that when you go there. Like, you go in, you respectfully, hi, how are you? You brought a gift. Hand them a gift. You sit down, you treat it like that. Like, just, with proper intent, proper respect, like, and at the end, if maybe they'll whatever, but they might not show face, they might, but the camera is not gonna make or break you, really. You know what I mean? You just feel it out. Go with your gut. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, just go with the gut.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, and being respectful, totally agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, I've had stuff happen on camera, the movement and all that, and the vocals.
Yeah, see, it's hard. It's hard for me because I get a lot more on camera than a lot of people do, so I kind of forget like what the limits are. You know what I mean? Because like I don't know if you know my situation, but Bubba is my Sasquatch teacher, is what I call him for the most part. But he said it. He didn't really ask me. He kind of told me, but I was gonna be an ambassador between peoples. Like, so I didn't really understand what it meant at the time, but they give me a lot because they want me to share. So I put it out there, like for lack of I don't know what's gonna happen when I do it. I just do it. Like, here's what we got today. Boom, 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 boom. Kind of do it raw and uncut, nothing fancy. Here's what it is, and that's what I do. What he asked me to do. So then I go and I see like other people's channels or other people doing stuff, and it's so elusive to them. It's very elusive. It's hard for them. It's a lot of work. They're doing all these things. They're leaving out game cameras. They're doing this. They're doing. Or I'll see their footage and I'm like, there it is, there it is, there it is. But they're literally right in front of it and can't see it. And I'm like, it's, you know what I mean? So I've come a little bit of a ways down the road, so it's a little different for me. You know what I mean? So, but I like to help someone who's just getting started if I can. But yeah, I would say definitely just be respectful, humble. Gifts never hurt. Never hurt. I don't know if you have any take on that. If you any advice?
Yeah, just taking something you think they might like. I mean, I think even if they don't like it, I think they'll really appreciate, because they're highly empathic, that they'll really appreciate the love that you give to them and giving that gift to them. And they've told me they like apples. I mean, at least the ones here. So I don't know if they're all like us. Some of us like certain things and others don't like. They seem to be omnivorous, but respect is everything. Respect. You'll go a long way with respect, and they'll see through any deceit that anyone has. That anyone that goes out there to harm in any way, or with just a really bad attitude, they'll pick that up very quickly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have some that'll take an apple. I have some that'll leave an apple forever. But the apples are a very common thing that they seem to take across the board for the most part, But I've had peanut butter taken, peanut butter left. Like I've had everything I've gifted. I've had some left and some taken. You know what I mean? But I try a lot of different stuff. Some people say it's taboo to leave food. Oh, they'll follow you home. They're gonna follow you home anyway. They're there anyway. They're gonna do whatever the hell they want. There's really no control over it. You know what I mean? It's really not what we can do about it. What do you think about them being at your house? Do you have activity at home? Does it bother you that they come to your home? Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, you do.
It's actually simmered down. At least where I moved, and so it's simmered down. I'm not getting the same stuff that I had before when I first started having interactions with them. I was actually a bit freaked out, particularly out in the bush where you feel very vulnerable, especially at night time. But the heavy footsteps, the bipedal footsteps, especially if you're in an area where there aren't people. That's why I like to go to areas where people aren't, because I don't want false positives. I really don't. Plus, I don't want to be disturbed by anyone either. That's another aspect.
True. Yeah, I used to leave the gifts out, and a lot of in the beginning I was showing what was going on more, and just to show that it was happening and what was happening after, and trying to prove to people now I'm kind of more different. I don't if someone's like, oh, like I need to see a before and after pic, I'm like, I can't help you. Like I don't got time for that shit. Like I've gone through all that. Like we've gone through that. Like
Yep.
we've gone through the proving process. You know what I mean? Like you're either with me or you're not. Like I can't. Like there's, if I have time for it, if I stumble across things, if I do it, I do it. Otherwise, if but as far as the gifts, I don't even show where I put them half the time because I don't want to. Now I just don't want anybody, not like it's on purpose, but I don't want anyone coming through and tampering with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like I just don't. I don't know. I could see somebody coming through and like screwing with it, like not an individual, but I don't know if that makes sense. But I feel like I'm followed sometimes. If I don't know if you get that, but I feel like I'm being tracked.
Yep.
Quite a bit.
Yep.
So it takes a little time to shake the tail. Sometimes I just don't give a shit. I just go with it.
Yeah. I heard what would be called samurai chatter, and basically at the beginning, and I thought, and I could sense them there, and I said, look, I'm not here to harm you guys in any way. Not that I could, but I come in respect to your area, and I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt you or hopefully not disrespect you.
Yeah, agreed.
So cinnamon candy, okay.
Sarah says, always remember that in order to respect them, you need to respect their surroundings. That means understanding that every in nature possesses energy.
Yep. Oh,
very
yes.
true. Yeah.
Yep.
If I step on a stick, like I cringe now. If I hear a stick crack under my feet, I'm like, oh, sorry guys. Like I'm like, that was yours. Sorry. Like, but I hear like I don't know. Like I cringe at stuff now. Like I hear like landscapers cutting trees and stuff. I'm like, oh, like it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. I see things so differently now.
Yeah, I find I got very hypersensitive doing this, like with sound, what's going on around me, my situational awareness, listening for that little tree break or that footstep.
I think they like my gifts. They didn't tell me yet. But yeah. I mean, you're just getting connected with them, Rob. But
Nice.
Definitely. I mean, they did.
Hey, Rob.
They left a. I don't know. He could. I don't know. I guess he wouldn't care. But they left a. He started coming out with me recently. Probably about 3 weeks now straight. We've been going out like once a week, but like multiple occasions, a few hours. And I think they started gifting him at his house. It seems like, and one. I think it looks like they put a big old handprint on the back of his windshield, which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened to a hunter up north. I had put an interview up with a hunter up in Northland who said he left a giant handprint on his ute, or you call it a pickup.
Nighttime is the best campfire with friends. He's wild, bro. He goes out in the middle of this for like sometimes 2-3 weeks, like just I don't know how, bro. Like I mean, I've seen firsthand a lot of the times where you guys are at, and shit, it takes balls. Also, there's lack of better words, It takes balls to go out there.
Oh, it does. Yep.
It takes balls. There's a lot. I mean, even your elks are like savages, man. Those red stags or whatever. I mean, those guys are like their antlers are like 18 points.
Yeah. Well, also the wild pigs. Like I go there, sometimes I'll carry a machete with me depending on where I'm going, but you have to be prepared for things like wildlife, any aggressive wildlife. Fortunately, we don't have too much. Not like so much like in America where you guys have got bears and different things you have to look out for.
Yeah. Mike is about. Thanks, guys. Nice meeting you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. It's great to be here and hear what people have to say and their experiences.
Yeah, I think I should be good to go tomorrow, Rob. But I think we're gonna go out tomorrow morning. We are gonna wrap up here, guys. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you being here. You're always welcome if you want to come back on. I know it goes fast.
Yep.
You know, give them
Yeah,
a
thanks,
gift
Sam.
of, give them a gift of weed. Give them an eighth of blue dream. Bigfoot will do a jig. It's actually, I mean, if you think about it, the way I look at it is like the Native Americans were here. Like, I'm just gonna talk for the states, but the Native Americans were here, and then we, like the white man came, and then history got wiped away and everything. You know what I mean? But they saw Sasquatch. There's no way around it. Sasquatch built teepees. Native Americans built teepees. Like, hides, this, that. They use everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're smoking a peace pipe. Like I feel like they got a lot of that stuff from somewhere. I wouldn't put it past that. People say that gifting tobacco to Sasquatch is a really good thing. I've done it, and I've had great encounters after, like great encounters after. So I don't know if it directly correlates, because I didn't get any direct response about it, but it didn't hurt, So if tobacco is a good thing, maybe some weed is. I don't know. I can't afford that shit. I can't afford to give weed, but God bless you if you can.
Yeah. I know one man that I talked to. He said he plays the flute when he goes out there. Take some music if you have musical talent, unlike me. But you go out there and play the flute. I love that.
Sure, absolutely. Like it's good to get personal. Like be personal with them. Like that never hurts, to show your true self, to show like your heart, to show like what you're about, to show like. Because like if that's what if you're a flute player, like you do it because you love it. You're not in your 30s and 40s or older and playing the flute because you're in school. You're forced to. Like you love it, you like it. Like so you're out there. That's gonna emanate your true and happiest self. You know what I mean? So you don't want to go out in nature to dredge through it. Like so. Like that's cool. That's awesome. If you like rap music, blast rap music. If that's what makes you happy, okay. Just be be happy out there. I'm not going to give alcohol.
A drunk? Can you imagine a drunk Bigfoot?
It would take a lot. It would take a lot.
Yeah, you need like something very big. But I don't know what they think. What do they think about that?
I don't think they're invisible. I think, but they teleport. They use portals. Telepathic for sure. That's that's a given for me.
I've been walked up to by things I could not see, and that did freak me out quite a bit. Actually, I didn't know if something was going to happen. But thanks too so much for all your comments and questions. It's really supportive. I'm sure Mike really appreciates your input as well and support.
Yeah. Don't forget Watermelon. True story. Great show. Man of Light. Thanks, brother. Daily Dan. Thanks, bro. The most wildlife around here are more dangerous when they have young with them. True story. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of certain things like that, you know what I mean, like are gonna be, that's gonna apply to anything, people, like animals, everything, so yeah, anything carries over like that. Like how people, like, where's a good place to find them? If you want a good place to go start looking, just go near water. I would say go near water. A pond, a lake, a river, a creek, don't matter. Like, you know what I mean? That would be a good start.
Cindy here is a researcher in New Zealand. If it's the same Cindy that I'm thinking of, and I think she's a researcher. She's gotten glyphs and she's had quite a few experiences out there. So thank you, dropping in.
Oh, this is Cindy Norris. She is the mother of Jeffrey Friend, who is a researcher in Pennsylvania, in the States. Pennsylvania. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, so Ozzy Osbourne. All right, play some Ozzy Osbourne. There you go. Oh, Rob said that. All right, yeah, well, we'll do it. Bring some music, Rob. Fantastic show, and Mark,
Thanks, Stacey.
Elephants are sitting on my chest. Wow. That's an amazing explanation, actually. I hope you feel better.
Thanks, Sarah, too. Get involved.
Do they avoid humans? I think it depends. I think it depends on who you're dealing with. You know? I really do. I think it depends who you're dealing with. Like, same way you kind of dodge like when your phone rings, you dodge some people and you don't. You know what I mean? You kind of, the people you're close with, the people you know, the people you trust, the people you got stored in your phone, that's who you answer. You know what I mean? If it comes up scam likely, swoop.
Yeah, a lot of it's attitude, I would say. Attitude.
Yeah, for sure. All right, babe. All right, I love you. I'll call you in a minute if you're still up. I'm glad you're still up. Yes, she has had her own experience. I didn't mean to just categorize you as that. I'm sorry. I get sidetracked in my mind. Yes, she has. She actually has a book, I believe. Miss Cindy has a book, I believe, called The Big Red Door. Apologize if it's wrong, but I still haven't gotten to it yet, and I want to.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's the same Cindy that I know of down here in New Zealand. So excuse me if I got the wrong Cindy.
It's all right. Either way, that's good. It's good that there's multiple people having encounters. All right, Don C, thank you, brother. Oh, for your service, by the way. Oh, no problem, guys. I just saw a service. No, yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. Bob Mason, good to see you here, brother. Like, there was a lot of you guys here. Whether you commented or whether you didn't, whether you just came by and listened, please. I'm first of all, I really appreciate it. The Big Red Door doesn't tell the full story. Yeah, I can imagine. All right. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate your time. Please go and check out the links are right down in the description. If you can't find it, just go throw a subscription. Go check out his stuff. There's a lot. The reason I put both channels is because there's a lot of stuff that goes back to that's worth checking out. I haven't even tackled probably half of it, and I love it. So.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mike. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, and it's really great to hear what everybody's experiences are, including yourself.
You're genuine, and honesty it's refreshing. It's refreshing that no matter what you get, and I know as people we stutter step through it, like we kind of like in our own mind we're like, it's hard to just get it out there, but we really appreciate it here, brother. Like really.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it so much, Mike.
Well, thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
And until next time, guys, thank you.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks, bro.